Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse News. I'm your host, Jam Jam. This is the craziest to happen in running this week. This week's stories include a new Treadmill 50K world best, 2019 Ultra Runners of the Year, and a tragic loss for the ultra community. Let's get right into it. For those of you who were registered to run last year's Hard Rock 100 that was unfortunately canceled due to avalanche activity, be sure to check your emails. The Hard Rock 100 Run Committee has sent out a link to re-register on Ultra Signup, and if you don't do it by January 24th, your spot will be passed along to the next guy or gal on the wait list. Yikes, I almost missed this. Speaking of epic hundreds, my race video from last fall's inaugural Whistler Alpine Meadows, or WAM 100 mile in British Columbia, is now live. Head on over to the Run Steep Get High YouTube channel to get an inside view of the latest Gary Robbins creation over some incredible terrain. The Beer Half Marathon. Have you heard of it? Well, if you're a longtime viewer of the show, I'm sure you have. 13 beers, 13.1 miles. We first had Patrick Sweeney help establish the record, then it was broken by our very own Skylar Hall, then on to Michael Versteeg. Well, there's recently been a challenge to the throne, and it comes at the hands of Bobby Lyons, the self-proclaimed beer runner. He claimed the new record of 1 hour, 25 minutes, 30 seconds, so he posted a video in his Strava, which seemed pretty legit. My only beef, my man Bobby, is you used Bud Light. I mean, come on, gotta follow those beer mile rules, like the pioneers did. Minimum alcohol by volume, 5%. Whoopsies. Now, for some race results of the past week. First, the Hoka One One Bandera 100K has come and gone, along with the first 4 Western States Golden Tickets of the year. The 2-lap race in Texas had some drama unfold up at the front. Drew Holman put on a surge in lap 2 to run down leader Alex Nichols for the overall win in 8:13, just about a minute ahead of Nichols. Both accepted their spots and will line up at States in June. Mission accomplished for these two. On the ladies' side, Elson McDonald was back to gobble up another golden ticket, decimating the field, similar to what she did at Black Canyon 2 years ago. She won in 9:13 with second place Michelle Magagna coming in at 9:43. Next up on the golden ticket calendar will be the Black Canyon 100K, February 15th, Arizona. Switching gears to a winter epic that went down in the UK, the Montains Spine Race is just one that is completely off my personal radar. I just have no desire to toe the line at this one, which makes what the athletes did this year just that much more amazing. This was the race that Jasmine Paris dominated last year. Well, she wasn't back this time, but Barkley finisher John Kelly was, and he put on a show. He's currently living in the UK, so travel nor jet lag was an issue. He seemed to be mentally prepping for the intense storms ahead of the race, and he got just what he was looking for. Some winter storms pummeled the course, but Kelly and others just kept fighting back over the 268-mile course along the Penningway Trail. Kelly went on to set a new men's record of 87 hours, 53 minutes, with Ian Keith second in 100 hours, 11 minutes. For the ladies, Sabrina Vergy won in 108.07, and Debbie Martin-Cassani was second in 118.36. We have a new Treadmill 50K record to report. Mario Mendoza took to a treadmill at Madras High School in the gym in front of a live audience and broke the standing record by just 46 seconds, finishing in 2:59.03. Watch out for Mendoza next month at Black Canyon. Seems he's pretty fit. Understatement. This time of year, we see some sponsor movement, as oftentimes contracts end and begin with the calendar year. There haven't been too many shakeups to report thus far, but Salomon is making some moves by signing Lauren Fleshman to their team for footwear and packs. Salomon in general seems to be making a huge women's push with their WMN campaign and camps and a new trail half marathon race the day before Lake Sonoma, and now signing Fleshman. Lauren is an integral part of the running community across many platforms, including a stellar track and field athlete, businesswoman, co-founder of Picky Bars, coach, and author. Michael McKnight, the man who won all 3 events in the Triple Crown of 200s this past year, is also joining Salomon. Rumors are swirling for another major female athlete in the sport. Sabrina Stanley has in her Instagram bio that she'll be making a major shoe sponsor announcement come February. Now for a follow-up to the FKT of the year. For brevity, we're going to jump right into the number 2 and 1 slots. For women, number 2 is Rene Jacobs, who summited the California 14ers in the fastest time possible. She knocked it out in 6 days, 4 hours, 6 minutes, taking over 3 days off the women's best time. Number 2 for the men was Josh Perry, who whittled a day off the Arizona Trail FKT. He completed it in 14 days, 12 hours, 21 minutes, self-supported. We are inching closer to the elusive 2-week barrier on the AZT. Congrats, Josh. Now, top women's, Arlene Land and the New Hampshire 4,000 footers. She did this nonstop, self-powered, unsupported, and solo. Well, that just about checks all of the badass boxes I can think of. She smashed it in 8 days, 23 hours, 9 minutes. And for the men, Carl Egloff was back, getting top honors. For Denali, he actually beat Killian's time by over 2 hours on the up, topping out in 7 hours 40 minutes, but his descent was so slow, he almost lost the round trip, beating Killian by just 4 minutes. Now to close out Ultra Running Magazine's annual UROY, we are moving into the top 5 ultra runners of the year. Those went to Jeff Browning and Sabrina Stanley, both standout 100-mile champions across multiple races. Number 4 goes to Camille Herron and Patrick Reagan. Reagan smashed Javelina and Brazos back-to-back with 12+ and 13+ hour performances, while Camille had her world record and win at the 24-hour Worlds in Tarawera 100-mile. I think her DNFs at Sonoma, Comrades, and States held her back in the overall UROY votes. In third, Jared Hazen with his standout Western States second and win at Sonoma, and Casey Lichtai winning Black Canyon Javelina and third at States, showing she's back in full force. For second, Claire Gallagher's win at Western States surely catapulted her up the charts, and Zach Bitter just had a killer year, winning San Diego 100 Whiskey Basin, second at JFK, and his long sought-after 100-mile world record. Finally, in first, and no surprise here, Jim Walmsley nabbed his 4th straight win, with wins at Western States, Ultravasan, 9 Trails, Fast 50, and the 50-mile world record. On the ladies' side, Courtney DeWalter, despite her Western States withdrawal, won Tarawera 100K, Madeira, and UTMB. Speaking of UROY, our Beast Coast correspondent A Jizzle Whizzle can finally release his picks. Without further ado, take it away.
Hey, Outhouse Nation! It's A Jizzle Whizzle checking in from the Beast Coast. Hey, happy holidays, everybody. It's a couple days before Christmas, and that means I just turned in my UROY ballot to Ultra Running Magazine for the North American Ultra Runner of the Year. I had repeat first place for Jim Walmsley and Courtney DeWalter, and my performances of the year had to go to Camille Herron for her 24-hour world record, and it was really close for men's performance of the year, but I went with Walmsley's course record at Western States over Zach Bitter's 100-mile world record. I know there'll be some conflict over that. A couple Beast Coasters figured into the voting. Maggie Gooderl in her Big's Backyard win, and Patrick Reagan for his incredible run at Brazos Bend. So I will see you in the new year. Until then, A Jizzle Whizzle from the Beast Coast.
Well, I mostly agree with you, AJW, but I personally got to give Bitter the nod on Performance of the Year. Jim can come claim that one if he wants. Or maybe not. Some chatter seems to emerge each year with a West Coast bias, so I thought I would shout out at least one name that I saw passed around that may have been overlooked since she ran some lesser known but still incredible races, more on the Midwest and Beast Coast. Gotta thank Scotty Coomer for bringing this one to our attention. Allison Kirk ran and won 5 100-milers in 2019, including some really tough ones. Hellbender looks pretty badass. It'd be fun to hopefully see her line up with some of the other top ladies on the list and see where they all stack up. We have a report on the UTMB lottery size this year from Lord Balls, who says on Twitter that last year they reported 25,678 entrants amongst all lottery events, and that jumped to 32,000 this year. Staggering. Moving on to the first Ultra Trail World Tour race of the year, the Hong Kong 100K, literally happening as I film this show. Looks like mostly Chinese runners up front, but Jared Hazen is in the mix and moving on up, as well as many other top international runners. Jim Walmsley will be towing the line at the Rock and Roll AZ Half Marathon in Phoenix this weekend as a tune-up towards the trials. Should give us a glimpse into his fitness. If you haven't scoped out his Strava in the past few weeks, it's equally inspiring and depressing. He's killing it, and I'm not. World Athletics is considering a ban on certain versions of the Nike Vaporfly shoes. No details yet, but it is on their radar after all of the recent press and falling records. This last story is a tough one on many levels. Back in 2018, I took an unsuspecting trip to China to run in the Lijiang Skyview Ultra. I crossed paths with not only some new Chinese friends, but two other international participants, Adam Campbell and his wife, Laura Kozakowski. I knew a bit about Adam from Hard Rock and his inspiring story of coming back from a near-death mountain accident. He was an Arc'teryx athlete, myself Solomon, and all of us were there to run the races. I spent the next 5 days with Laura and Adam traveling the country, going on runs, eating food, exploring ancient villages, and even taking a trip to the second highest building in the world. They are nothing short of amazingly nice people. This past weekend, Laura was caught in an avalanche in Banff while skiing with Adam. She was buried but survived through being dug out and transported to the hospital, but the hypothermia was just too much. She didn't make it. It's incredibly tragic, and my heart really goes out to both Laura, Adam, their close family, and friends. We'll end the show here, but we'll always have Laura in our hearts. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into episode 179 of Outhouse News. The show would not be possible without the support of our Patreon contributors, who help with the production of this show each and every week. Join the Patreon crew at the link below for as little as $2 per month. Huge shout out to our $50 level supporters, Squirrel's Nut Butter, Brian Sands, Base Medical Ultramarathon Medical Care Online Course, Ultra Trail Blazers, Sean Trujillo, and the Twisted Fork Ultra out of Park City, as well as our $25 level supporters, Bluebird Running Company, Josh Goldstein, Carrie Savage, Rene Feint, Casey Carter, and Jeff Holbrook. Thanks for checking out the show, and we'll see you next time. If you have crazy stories to share or questions or feedback for the show, please leave a comment below. Finally, if you'd like to own this custom pair of Jam Jam sunglasses, complete with a signed certificate of authenticity, check out the link in the description. Have a shitty week.